welcome back. If you're new here, hi, welcome. I'm Clara. I'm a textile artist and I use threads, textiles, and now wire to make art. In this video, I want to say thank you. Thank you for all your support. My solo exhibition titled Vessels opened just this past Thursday, and it was such a show of support that I want to say thank you to all of you who made it to the opening. And for those of you who were not able to make it to the opening, I still want to say thank you. And for those of you who were not able to make it to the opening, this video is for you. I'm going to show you what took place during the opening reception, give you a little glimpse of how it went, and give you a walkthrough of the exhibition. So come along with me.
Welcome to Orbit Gallery, welcome back. We're so glad that you're here to help us open our third exhibition season with Vessel, a solo show by Clara Nardi and curated by Nico W. Horo, the founding CEO of the Building Fund. Tonight is really about gathering, about the space we create together and the many stories, histories, and experiences each of us bring into the room. The idea of a vessel offers a way to think about that, how we hold things, how we are shaped by what we carry, and how we move through the world alongside one another. This exhibition invites us to reflect on what is visible and what remains unseen. On the surface, we present and the interior lives that are harder to access. It also opens up questions around identity and change, especially in the context of movement, migration, and cultural exchange. What do we hold on to and what do we adapt to? How do we make space for complexity rather than flattening it?
10 years of work all coming together in one space. I don't think I fully understood what that would feel like until this moment. To walk into a room and see pieces from different points in my life, different stages, different questions, different levels of understanding, all in conversation with each other. It's overwhelming in a calm way. Today, people at the opening would ask, "How are you feeling?" And I would respond, "I'm calm." Because I remember who I was when I made some of these pieces. What I was trying to figure out, what I was holding on to, what I was reaching for. And one thing I always told myself back then was this: I don't want my work to look the same 10 years from now. I wanted growth. I wanted change. I wanted to be able to look back and see that I took risks, that I didn't stay in one place. But what I didn't realize is how it would feel to actually stand here and see that growth in front of me. Because now, I can see it clearly. I see the hope I had 10 years ago. I see the courage it took to step into something I didn't fully understand, to go into uncharted territory without knowing where it would lead. I see the moments where I just decided to keep going, even when things weren't working, even when it felt unclear, even when it would have been easier to stop. Oh my gosh, were there times when it would have been so much easier to give up? Absolutely. But standing here now, I see the discipline, the decision to stay committed to my practice, even when it wasn't convenient, even when it wasn't easy. A lot of this started with a simple thought. I looked at thread and I looked at a stitch and I saw a line. And I asked myself, if a stitch is a line, then what can I do with it? I thought to myself, I should be able to draw and paint with it. I should be able to shade a face with it. I should be able to build depth, texture, emotions using just thread. But the question was, how? How do I do any of these things? And I didn't have the answers. So I followed the question. I followed my curiosity wherever it wanted to go. And sometimes that led to things I didn't expect. Sometimes the work changed directions. Sometimes I changed directions. But that curiosity and this desire to make something excellent, something honest, that's what keeps me moving. At every stage, I was trying to make my best work. And 10 years ago, I did make my best work with what I knew, with the skills I had, with the tools I had access to. And when I look at those pieces now, and I look at the work I'm making today, I can still see growth. And that's been a real lesson for me, that growth doesn't stop, that your best work is always evolving, that your best work 10 years ago will not be your best work today. That is growth, not a sign that you didn't give it your best efforts back then. I've also learned that the level of care you bring to your work matters. If you give your work your full attention, your full effort, that growth compounds over time. And if you hold back, that shows too. So for me, it's always been about showing up fully, giving the work everything I have in that moment. What you're seeing here, this is more than just a collection of pieces. This is a record of my life. The way I've seen the world over the years, the way I've processed things, the emotions, the questions, the stories. My work has always been about people, about telling stories about different people, whether it's through portraiture or now through sculpture. It's the same intention. I'm thinking about the people I've encountered in my own life, through books, through history, and I'm asking, how do I honor those stories? How do I translate that into something visual, something tactile? So even as the medium changes, the core of the work stays the same.
It's not really a question. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for bringing your stories and your work to the space and for sharing so much of yourself with us.
That makes me have a question.
Yeah.
Like, how long does that take? You make the fabric.
Yeah, so I designed the fabric.
So I just want you to lay it out.
Yeah, so I use software to design the fabric. Standing here now, I just feel grateful. Grateful that I kept going. Grateful that I stayed with it long enough to see this moment. Grateful for every version of myself that showed up to do the work. And at the same time, I feel excited because I know this isn't the end of anything. It's just another point along the way. Now, I'm looking at the sculptures and I'm thinking about what they can become. I'm thinking about where this direction might lead over the next 10 years. And I can already imagine standing in another space, standing in the future several years from now, looking back at those moments the same way I'm looking back now, seeing new growth, new risks, new questions. And that is the part I'm really holding on to. That's the journey continues. And I can't wait to see where it goes next.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to juxtapose the works we're talking about with your new sculpture series, right? Which there's an airiness to them. I think they're actually called Skin Over Air, right? So can you talk about how you kind of arrived at this new way of making and how you understand those works and, you know, kind of relationship to some of the more traditional works that you've been making?
So the sculptures are a continuation of my earlier works, in that I am still telling stories about people. So all my work is about people, and I was looking for a way to tell stories not in a very in your face kind of way, not using figures to tell stories, but still telling the same stories. And in Ghana, we look at pottery as though they were human figures, because it has, especially feminine figures, because it has this curvy shape, it has a neck, it has hips, so it looks like a human being. So that I'm thinking about these sculptures as though they were people. And so the work is still the same kind of work, but in a different form. And I'm thinking about, when I think about the sculptures, I'm thinking about, as a skin over air. I'm thinking about what you see on the outside as the skin of the person or the people whose stories I'm telling. And the air is the inside of that sculpture that you cannot see. But that inside of the sculpture that you can see holds the being of that sculpture. When you think of it as a human being, the being or the thing that makes it alive is on the inside. So the skin is outside, and then the air is inside, and the air tells you everything about the person, but you don't see that. And so I'm trying to talk about how we see people and how we miss who the people really are, because we cannot see the air that's inside, we cannot see the emotions, we cannot see the experiences, we cannot see the trials and tribulations and the troubles that they're going through. We read somebody and you don't know what they're going through. So that is what the sculptures are about. It's still an extension of those figures that I created for the wall, but in a different way. Thank you for watching this video. If you're enjoying my videos, please like and subscribe to my channel. It is such a great show of support when you do that. And until next week, create something beautiful and share it with the world. I'll see you next week.